Hey everyone, nerdygymbros here. Today we're talking about what we want to see in the 5th installment of Mass Effect. And for starters, I just want to say, I don't know how you feel about this, but I would like to see a sequel to Andromeda.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't see why they shouldn't do another one in Andromeda, just because there's so much potential for story there. I mean, and there's so many loose ends still left from the original one with who the benefactor is. What's next with Reyes Vidal, which is a video that we've...
Funny enough, we did a video there. Segue!
What's next with Reyes Vidal from that, but just the benefactor in general, the Jardin, the Ket, and the empire that the Ket has beyond the Helios cluster. So
now, for starters, though, where I would like to see it take place is I want us to leave Helios. I feel like we've done everything we possibly could do in Helios.
Well, I think that we need to leave Helios anyways, just because we've already settled the planets there that they want us to settle, and just rehashing the same places over again. Granted, you can have your Nexus like you had your Citadel,
right?
Repeatedly through the original.
I feel like it should still be a hub, like certain worlds, like Meridian.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of the Nexus.
Just another Angaran world.
Yeah.
That is just a hub. It's not a Vold or
Tomorrow. I just think Vold was a little cold.
I like.
I actually love Vold. Really? I was gonna say because Helvar I think was my favorite.
Havarl was the forest, but I liked Vold the most because of what happened, the sky when you healed the planet.
Yeah, I like that green tint.
Yeah. So, but there's so much to do still in Andromeda. I mean, you also
have
have
the Andromeda galaxy, and all we were in was a little
tiny cluster. We were like,
but you gotta remember, like with Mass Effect 2, I mean, you started off just on this side of the map. In the second game, you were like over here with Omega and everything. So that's kind of like what
Council space and kind of Terminus systems to mainly the Terminus systems.
Right. Terminus systems are just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then
our space pirate.
And the third one was basically the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
To me, I don't want to go back to the Milky Way.
Oh, the only way to me, the Milky Way story it's already been done. Like, I don't want any prequels because I already know what happens.
I don't want to just fight Turians.
That's the thing. It's like
a short contact or short.
I love Turians. I don't want to shoot a Turian.
Well, we shot plenty of Turians, but I don't see the sense in doing First Contact.
I don't see the
First Contact was a tiny skirmish. It didn't even last that long.
I don't see the point of going back to the Milky Way. To me, the Milky Way was a great story. Now what I want them to focus on is making Andromeda a great trilogy.
Yeah.
Because we obviously enjoyed Andromeda.
We did.
I mean, obviously there's different people have different views. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people hated it for different reasons. But we were two of the people who absolutely loved it. And what I like to see...
Mistakes included.
Oh yeah, including the mistakes.
I mean, I didn't love the mistakes, but I mean,
yeah.
Despite there being mistakes, I still loved it.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, but
and the thing is, they weren't that bad. I mean, yes, overall, I mean, I only got hit with 5 bugs, and I mean, to me, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, the Drac one was the only. I mean, the Drac one and the Rider flashbacks was all I really encountered.
Yeah, that's all I ever got.
I mean, that's excluding the eye stuff.
But they fixed that.
But they fixed it. That's the thing. So because we played it, I think, day one.
Yeah, day one they did.
But we played it day one, and over that first month of playing, because even though we played it constantly, by the time that they finally got that first patch up that fixed the eyes and the faces, I mean, we still were on EOS.
Yeah.
So I mean,
we were enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, we were enjoying ourselves, and we were probably also playing different games, or we were busy with life. But
there's that.
There's that. But so to me, the facial animations and eye thing, granted, when I first saw the eye stuff, I was kind of like off-put. Like the facial animations, I didn't even like notice.
I honestly didn't even.
Some people like started like pointing out, and then I still didn't.
To me, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, because I was always like going back to like Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, where it's like I remember Shepard like breaking his neck just to try to.
But not even him. Like one of my favorites was like when you go and talk to Liara, and all of a sudden Glyphs start talking, and all of a sudden everyone's like, What'd you say, Cliff?
Yeah. They're trying to like snap their head around.
Stop moving, you little drone.
But there's that. Then I mean, he had moments where like the mouth didn't sync up in the original trilogy, and eyes would. I had sometimes for my eyes when it felt like my head would be here, but my eyes would be like trying to look over there in the original trilogy. So the facial animation to me was like. It's not.
It was like that in the original trilogy, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, those
games. Yeah. But let's get back on subject. So I'd like to see Andromeda.
Stay in Andromeda.
Yeah, for the next
Mass Effect stay in.
For the 5th installment of Mass Effect, I'd like to see them stay in Andromeda. I want a Ryder trilogy.
I'd be fine with that.
The thing is, it doesn't. I guess technically it doesn't have to be a Ryder trilogy, but I loved Frida's and Tom's work with the writers. I loved Sarah's voice. I mean, it was just.
Yeah, what I thought was really cool is that you still get to experience both siblings in it.
Yeah.
Even when regardless of which gender you choose, you still get to experience both siblings. Like, they didn't just kill off your sibling, which I thought was a good thing. That way you experience both. I mean, there's even differences with their dialogue.
I absolutely love the fact that you could customize your sibling.
Yeah,
that made me so happy. And the fact that depending on your customization, your father changed. I can't remember his name right now.
I remember when I first saw Alec.
Alec, that was it.
I was like, oh wow, so, because it took the literal, what a combination of my two siblings would have been.
And you remembered Alec from the trailer.
Yeah, and I was looking at the Alec, I was like, okay, so he looks like my Alec, or a combination of or kind of a combination of my two siblings. And as I'm looking, I'm like, wow, he has a really big fucking nose. And I don't know where the nose came from. He had a huge nose, and I was like, man, you're ugly. But by the time that he made the sacrifice, like, I was really heartbroken because I grew to love what my ugly Alec Ryder looked like. Because he had really intense blue eyes.
I don't even remember seeing your Alec at all. But the thing is, your character looked so cool. What
I don't know. Because both my riders looked really good. Like, I won't say like the model worthy, but they weren't like these giant.
Just so you know, his femme rider was like a Shepard and Kasumi love child.
She was.
Legitimately, I mean.
Mass Effect 3 femme ship.
Yeah. The redhead, freckles.
Yeah, all that.
Kasumi lip paint.
But it was just so funny that I really enjoyed that part of the drama where you got to create yourself like an Alec became a combination
I've always, no matter what, I had the hardest time creating a character. I can never get the character right. But for the first time in Andromeda, I finally, after all these years, created a character that I loved. And not just one, two. Both my writer siblings were just perfect. I've never ever felt that about a creation before that I've created. I think the closest I ever got to something I loved was in Dragon Age when the created character in that. But for Mass Effect, I mean, when I would play through that, I could never get my character creator how I wanted it.
Yeah, you created as default.
Yeah, because
in the original trilogy all the time, where I was the only one between us that actually customized my characters.
Yeah, because I tried. I really tried. And I could never get it. There's always something that would bug the fuck out of me. I'd start the game and in the first cutscene, I'm like, nope.
Funny thing about character creation, this is going to segue into another thing I want to discuss about with the next Andromeda, or the next Mass Effect game. Funny thing with the original trilogy, with my male Shepard, because I created a male and a female Shepard.
I think I know what you're talking about.
First game, he had the perfect nose, perfect hair, all that stuff. Second game, all of a sudden he has this giant broken nose.
Miranda gave us a hiccup.
Yeah, with this giant broken nose that I didn't realize looked like a giant broken nose until after I accepted my character import. And I had to go through the entire Mass Effect 2 with that broken nose. Mass Effect 3 comes along, broken nose is still there, but my Shepard got surgery during the time.
The 6 months he was in jail, like, Anderson.
We gotta fix this. I mean, it's
making it hard to breathe now. It was a Krogan, I swear.
Yes. But
Shepard.
But I like to see in the next Mass Effect game, based going from this character creation tangent that we've gone off of, is better, more in-depth creation choices with it, because
I love how you could go wild. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I love how you could go wild with the color. I mean,
yeah,
as someone who's dyed his hair just about every color of the rainbow except for red, one of these days, I promise you, that made me really happy.
yeah.
I don't think Scott had hair dye.
No, he did.
I dyed his hair.
No, oh, you're Scott. No, you went black hair.
Yeah, I
thought you were talking about in general. I was like, no, you could pick whatever.
No, I knew that. I was just wondering if I did or not. I know Sarah had purple hair. I think my Sarah did, anyways.
Mine was redhead.
It matched their tattoos. I gave them purple tattoos. The thing is, I gave Scott like a necklace tattoo, and then they both had like some type of matching tattoo over here, on separate eyes. So like it was like a mirror thing.
I thought you had like a necklace thing and she had like a crown thing.
Oh no, it wasn't it was scars. They had matched opposite scars. That was it. But yeah.
I don't know what scars I gave my Scott Ryder anymore. I just remember that I gave my Sarah Ryder the 3 scar thing that went up that way. It looked like a Turian took 3 talons to her face. But
wow, she was at that Prothean Big thing.
Yeah, it just looked really cool.
Hey Sarah, look what I found. Oh, I'm so sorry.
But something I'd like to see with the character creation next one is more in depth. And I don't mean to knock the character creation.
I loved that character
you got
creation.
your perfect one out of it, and I really enjoyed the Sarah I was finally able to create in it. Because, I mean, I don't know how long you took with your character creation.
It was at least an hour, if not more.
I think I took longer
because I was like mixing and matching things, and like I didn't go in there with a plan, because when I first went in there, I internally resigned. I'm like, you know what?
I'm not gonna be able to create one.
I've never been able to create a character that I loved, but I'm gonna give it a try. And then I ended up
gonna go badly.
This is how it.
I wish Hannah could wear sweaters. I'm sad Hannah can't wear sweaters.
Yeah, but I went in there just like I'm not good at this. But then I created the 2 best things I've ever created in my life.
We're not gonna go there, but
I don't have kids. Don't take that as the wrong way.
But because the character creation for me, I think it took me longer than an hour, just because I ended up starting with a specific default face to go off of, not the original default, but a different preset face.
A preset one.
And I ended up not liking, because I ended up getting all the stuff that I ended up wanting to get with my Sarah Ryder with that face, but I didn't like how it was morphed and everything, so I had to go back and pick a different one. And my only issue with the preset, and I don't know if it was like that in if it's like this in the trilogy or not, just because I felt like I had more control in the trilogy. Like
I can't even speak there because
either more control in the trilogy of the different parts of the face and everything, because like also in Inquisition you had a lot of control with it as well, where I was able, even from a preset face.
Can I create characters? Yeah, I created characters in it. No, I was just wondering if I just picked a preset and that's not with it.
But I felt that with in Andromeda, or in Inquisition and the original trilogy, that I could pick whatever preset face I wanted, and by the end of it, I could change it to no longer have the same cheekbones or nose or whatever, specific things where
there's just certain things that you wanted
structures,
more control over.
Yeah, where you had to really pay attention in Andromeda to which preset you picked, and then from there you were basically molding the preset face. Granted, in a way it probably works a little bit better for creating wise, because it allows you to start with whatever kind of face you want and you're morphing it from that, and not able to really from that create something exceptionally ugly unless you really are trying. But I felt that in Andromeda, that the character face stuff, like I said, it felt this way. I'm not saying that it really was. It might have had more depth than the trilogy, and it's just because I haven't created anything in the trilogy in a long time. It's been years since I played it, exception of multiplayer in the third one. But not because I didn't want to play it, but in Andromeda, like I said, I'm not sure if it is that way or if it was that way, but I felt like I didn't have as much control over different structure things. I would have, that control was in a way like, I say taken away, but not in a menacing way, but taken away to facilitate the presets, and that you needed to work from the preset to create.
I didn't have that, so I can't really agree or disagree with you there, just because.
I'm not sure if that's how it was, but if that was how they had to do it because of the Frostbite engine, whether it's a necessity because the Frostbite engine doesn't allow you to do everything that the previous games have done, or if it was just because of development stuff that happened within internally that caused it to, preset, or if it's just my imagination. I didn't. It had been a long time since I played the original trilogy in Inquisition, so it just felt different. Or maybe I'd played something else during the time that had, like, Final Fantasy 15 or something. Granted, I hadn't at that point because I don't think it was out. But the point being is, like, a game like that and that one's multiplayer, but where you have such huge control over the character's face and everything of creation. So I don't know if how it was in my head was just skewed or not, but what I'd like to see in the next Mass Effect, regardless, is just more in-depth creation with it. Even if because I'm just importing, like if it's following the writers, if I'm importing my Sarah writer, my Scott writer, as long as they don't broken nose me again like they did in the original trilogy, everything will probably stay the same with how I want them to look. So it's unlikely that I would end up creating a character in that vein. But one thing with the creation that I would like is, for Scott writers specifically, is better long hair options.
Yeah, as two dudes who have.
Just because, you have the one kind of close to Liam hair that you ended up picking, and then you have the slicked back Alec Ryder hair, and I don't know, I think that was maybe it, and then they allowed you to pick specific Sarah Ryder haircuts, I think, as Scott Ryder. I don't really recall, but, and if, I think they ended up adding that in there, and if they did, I don't remember if they changed it so it looked different with Scott specifically, or if they just, put the same hair in it. But as just someone who has long hair and has for years, I'd like more long hair options for Scott, because
like an Elrond or.
Well, that's pretty specific
choice,
but yeah, but just whether it's lengthwise or just different stylization, where it's like the crown of the hair is ponytailed and the rest of it's then. Granted, I know that's a frickin' creating nightmare for the people. Look at the Final Fantasy people's hair. They probably shaved years off of their lives just to get all that stuff, how it ended up looking. But
probably true.
I would just like to see more long hair options for Scott Ryder, because they're not military.
Right.
That's why you had so many color choices and options with different hairstyles with Scott and Sarah. Because I was really happy with Sarah's hair choices, definitely with the default. Great, I ended up picking the ponytail. I ended up picking, I think, Sugi's hair with my Sarah Ryder, but I liked the long hair options, even if they were just shoulder length with Sarah, so much better than I liked the long hair or the hair options in the original trilogy for Femshep, because I understand that she was military and everything, so I understand why everything was either really short or in a bun or bald or whatever.
Right.
But I've always wanted for definitely male characters better long hair options in any games, but since we're talking about Mass Effect, and Mass Effect specifically, in the next one I would like to see more, or just either different styles of long hair, like I said, a better ponytail, just because there are certain ponytails that look really stupid, like when they're really short, like that long, they look freaking ridiculous.
Right.
But like if I ponytail my hair right now, it would look stupid. But I'd like to see just more options with hair specifically, and if the character face creation stuff was how my mind is remembering it, where it was you have to pick a preset and from there you just kind of mix and match in just a little bit and not as much control as I thought it was, or as I recall having an Inquisition in the original trilogy, though it might have been there, like I said. Those are the two things I want from the next Mass Effect game, is just for the creation aspect, more control over the face, and then better hair options for definitely better long hair options for guys, but
Mm-hmm.
also for Sarah writers, just because there's so many styles you can do
Right.
with long hair and not have them look ridiculous.
I'd also, like we were saying earlier though, like I like to see them move beyond Helios. Whether that, like, to me, because I mean they were talking about the Ket Empire and everything, I'd like to take the war to the Ket, or build maybe like, because I'd like a trilogy, like the second game to be like building up for a war against the Ket, and I'd like to be going to a different part, obviously a different part of Andromeda, to be recruiting new species that we haven't even, like Jaw's obviously a new species, but I think, and obviously the Ket, but there was
Jardan, whoever deployed
whoever deployed the Scourge against the Jardan, if it wasn't the Jardan themselves, I mean we don't know.
We don't know if they're civil warring with themselves.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't the Ket, so I mean I want more species in the game.
I think with definitely something I would want on the new species note with it is
The Quarians?
no, well yes, but I mean we'll have to find out what happened in the book.
Right.
But what I would want from the next ones in regards to new species stuff is, and once again I also understand it from a writing perspective of how difficult it is to do, but I would want them to kind of do the in-depth thing with new species where, I mean, when you met the Krogan, the Batarians, the Solarians, the Usari, all that stuff, you have these giant codexes. I don't just mean I want the text of it. I read the text, I think, the first time through Mass Effect Trilogy, and then I haven't read it really since, just because it's a lot of reading and I want to get back to talking to the characters.
Right.
But what I want is to, you know, go further in depth with, you know, the Jardan, with the Angaran, the Ket, and then new species, you know, just give Andromeda its own, like, don't, granted, understand the callbacks, the Milky Way.
I feel like they should still be in the game. The
No,
Milky
I
Way
wasn't
races.
saying get rid of the Milky Way species at all. I'm just saying that we know, granted, there are always going to be new people that come to
Right.
the series that don't know the Asari, the Krogan, the Drell, all that stuff, like fans who have been around for the original trilogy, even Andromeda. But I want, with Andromeda, to give Andromeda its own life. Don't
Give it its own character.
Yeah, give it its own character, give it its own species beyond the Ket and the Angaran, because the Milky Way species, we've already done them, we've already learned them. And granted, I love the Milky Way species, but with Andromeda, one of the lost potentials in Andromeda.
There's a ton of potential in Andromeda.
No, I'm not saying that there isn't potential. I'm saying one of the lost potentials that they had with the first Andromeda is you have the Ket and you have the Angaran, and you had different codexes with them, and you went a little bit into depth with them, but the Ket, and I understand that we're just in one cluster, and that's the thing, is that we were only in one cluster, we weren't in an entire galaxy, but the missed opportunity that they had with that, or the opportunity that they're waiting to capitalize in the next
Well, you gotta
one.
remember, everything they set up in Andromeda was for a sequel.
So it's not just a missed opportunity. It could just be that they were setting up towards it. Is that giving Andromeda different other life forms, give it its own life. Don't make it Andromeda with Andromeda featuring the Milky Way, basically. You know.
I know what you mean.
I mean, granted, feature the Milky Way species because we came over here as the initiative. That's, you know, the core of the Andromeda initiative,
Right.
part of it. But, you know, give Andromeda its own life, give it its own species, give it its own planet kind of stuff. Granted,
I know what you're trying to say. But that also brings me to my next point: is I want a bigger squad, because I really do. Because and the reason behind it is I think a lot of the characters from the original squad are going to end up leaving. Because you look at Liam, you look at PB, you look at Gil, Liam, PB.
you're talking about squad
Gil.
or the Tempest team?
Tempest in general.
Yeah.
But you look at the three of them.
You have Drac, Vetra, and Cora left for the
Yeah. So you look
and
at.
then you have and Jaw. You have Drac, Vetra, Cora, and Jaw left for the squad. Then you have Suvi and Callow.
Well, they'll never leave the Tempest. In my head,
Suvi,
they will.
Callow.
Yeah, Suvi and Callow will never leave the Tempest because that's their ship, more or less.
and get Suvi on the frontier, which
Which is what she wants. But the thing is, to me, Liam will leave to go and start a crisis response team in Andromeda to battle against the Ket or whatever else.
Or just be another crisis response, whether it is battling or if it's just responding to crises.
Yeah, to me that's what Liam would do because that's what he set out to do in the first place.
On Meridian of all places too.
Exactly. You have Gil, who's just starting a family, and I loved Gil. I honestly wish, and I think I said this before, in our Reyes Vidal one.
I think it was edited out, so you can say it now.
Bitter. But the one thing I wish we really got to do with Gil is poker. Like an actual poker mini game. Or like when you were talking with Drac about the Thresher Maw Krogan game. I would love.
I was really upset when we didn't get to play
Flaming
Thresher Maws or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was like Fireball, something like that. Fireball Thresher Maws or something like that. I don't know. Besides the point. I would love to see mini games like that make it into the game. And I know it's a ton of work, but it adds so much more to the story because you can have more character interactions, you can have more dialogue, you can have more things that make these characters more lovable, more things to attach ourselves to. And I think that would be a real cool thing. And who else am I missing? That was Liam, that was Gil.
Yeah, PB.
And PB. I really think she's gonna ditch.
I don't disagree at all.
The thing is, I like PB's character a lot. She's too scatterbrained to stay focused on.
I mean, we were her key to Remnant tech, but with
she wants nothing to do with going to war with. To me, I don't think she does. She's so focused on the scientific knowledge and everything. She'll either just plant her home in Meridian, or she's gonna.
I don't know if she'd plant her home in Meridian.
I just mean because of all the tech there. I mean, to sit there and try to figure it all out legitimately could take lifespans. I mean. So to me, that's what PB will end up doing. So I mean, that would just leave us with Cora, who I don't ever see leaving the Pathfinder. Yeah. You have Vetra. To me, once again, I don't see ever leaving the Pathfinder.
No sense in her leaving, just because she has so much more accessibility from the Tempest.
And then you have Jal, who I never see leaving the Pathfinder.
Man, he's another
and then Drac, who I absolutely adore. And I don't know if you edited this out or not.
No, we didn't.
But talking about Drac's fate. I don't want them to, but I really feel like that they're going to kill him off. Yeah. It'll either be protecting Kesh and her babies, or it'll be to grow Ryder's character and a Tempest team. And then, so that's all you have as a squad then. So to me, it's like, when we're leaving Helios Cluster, and we're going to a different part of Andromeda, we need to start recruiting other species and everything.
Definitely new species, but I think that you'll end up getting a few more Milky Way ones. If it is Jal, Vetra, Cora. And I mean, you're talking about, are you wanting like a size squad with Mass Effect 2?
That's what I was kind of shooting for, just because I really like the size of it. I mean, because the variety I was able to do on missions, you know?
One, I don't think the Tempest is big enough for all those people. And two, my only issue with that is, granted, we had so much
maybe
interaction.
It doesn't have to be that. I mean, it could be like 2 to 4 more people. But either way, I just want to see more. I want a bigger squad to interact with. Because I loved all the characters that they added. I want more.
Yeah.
But I really feel like they need to leave Helios. I really feel like we need to meet other species. I feel like we need to adopt these other species into our crew. And I'd really like, obviously, if you saw our Reyes Vidal video, I really like the idea of him being thrown in there as a wrench to be this, you don't know if you can trust him. And it doesn't even have to be Reyes Vidal. It could be another character or another species entirely where there's no trust in between these two people because you don't know if he or she are going to betray you at any point. What else?
Only 2 other final points that I have, at least, is one, I want it following the Ryder siblings again, just because they're still so young that if they do a trilogy with him,
they can really grow as characters.
They can really grow.
And I really liked the green as the grass. I liked how fun and uppity they were. I don't want them ever to lose that in them, yeah. But I'd love to see them go through some shit.
I'd be fine with that, but I want the next one to definitely follow his Ryder siblings, just because you have Alex's wife thing still to deal with, and then just because they were so heavily involved definitely with the whole benefactor stuff, because their father was involved with the benefactor and being Garson, is that, and we were the ones that found the stuff about the benefactor with Sam. To me, it only makes sense if you're going to further that story is to keep
the
them
writers.
on them. And I enjoy the writers.
I thoroughly enjoy the writers. Just like my favorite Gears of War is Gears of War 4. I loved the new squad because it wasn't so goddamn dreary and depressing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcus.
Well, shit.